Hi everyone, it's Lynnea from LDRS Creative to show you some new products from HSN. I'm going to be showing you the In-Flight kit, and this kit has a 4x6 stamp set as well as a set of 3 In-Flight spotlight masking stencils. Let's start by looking at the In-Flight stamp set. These stamps are absolutely adorable, and you'll see images such as bees, birds, and lots of flowers. Now let's look at the In-Flight Spotlight Mask Stencils. This is a set of 3 stencils featuring circles, arches, and squares. These stencils are sized for slimline cards, but you can use them for any card that you would like. There are etching lines so that you can easily line up a 3 1/4 by 8 1/4 inch piece of cardstock or a 3 1/2 by 8 1/2 inch piece of cardstock. This set of stencils also comes with the negative pieces that you can pop into these stencils and get the negative effect of that shape. And I'll be showing you some cards where I've used that effect. So you can stencil the circles, the arches, or the squares, or use those inlay pieces and you'll have ink blended around the outside edge of those shapes. I'm going to start by showing you some projects I've created using the In-Flight kit, and then we'll make a project. So here's one that I've used where I have stenciled using the circle spotlight mask on the left and right hand side, and then I've come in with the arch for the center. Don't forget to mix and match your shapes and your products to make really amazing cards. Here's a card I used using just the In-Flight stamps. Another one where I've taken those stencils and I've offset them a little bit, so I stenciled the top and bottom circle and then shifted that stencil over for the middle to get a different look. Here's an example of using those inner pieces so that you have the image is left a plain color and the ink blending is around the outside. It's a really fun, different look. Here's a card where I've used one of the shapes from each of the stencils and overlapped them in the center to make all the colors of the rainbow. You can use 1, 2, or all 3 of the shapes. Don't be afraid to mix it up. Just because these stencils are created for slimline cards doesn't mean you can't use these products on every size of card imaginable. Slimlines, A7, A2, even shaped cards like the circle shaped card I just showed you. If you're looking for more examples using the In-Flight stamps and spotlight mask stencils, don't forget to check out the HSN website. Let's go ahead and start making a card. I mentioned at the beginning of this video that these stencils are sized for slimline cards and that they have etching lines so that you can easily line up a 3 1/4 by 8 1/4 or a 3 1/2 by 8 1/2 inch piece of cardstock. But I wanted to show you how I use these on an A2 card. This card comes together quite easily, and I think it really shows off the versatility of the In-Flight Spotlight Mask stencils. So I've taken the square stencil and I have offset that on the top of an A2 piece of cardstock. My cardstock measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches, and I have temporarily adhered that spotlight mask stencil near the top left corner, and I'm just going to blend some pink ink onto that square. I'm keeping the ink darker at the bottom and lighter towards the top. I wiped off my stencil and I moved it down near the bottom right hand corner, and I'm going to be blending some blue ink, again darker at the bottom and light near the top. My goal here is to overlap my inks to create a rainbow effect. So I wanted to use 2 colors that I knew would overlap nicely when I put a 3rd color in the middle. Now I'm going to twist this stencil, because if you twist a square stencil just a little bit, just shift it, you can create a new shape, which is a diamond shape, and I thought that is a really fun way to stretch your supplies. So instead of having a 3rd square in the center of my panel, I'm going to have a diamond shape. Again, I am using some masking tape to mask off the edges so that I don't get ink where I don't want it to go. And then I'm going to come in with yellow. And this yellow color is going to overlap with the pink to create orange and overlap with the blue to create green. So I will have almost a complete rainbow. I'm only missing purple, but when I peel this off, you're going to see how fun this looks. I have that pink square in the left side, the blue on the right, And then I have that yellow square in the middle, along with that little bitty triangle of orange and green. I've spattered some gold ink onto the background to cover up any inking imperfections I might have, and also just to give a little bit of texture. I trimmed my panel down to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to add this onto an A2 sized craft card. So my card front is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I have a bunch of images from the in-flight 4x6 stamps that I have already stamped, colored, and used my scissors to fussy cut. And I'm just going to start playing. I love to stamp and color a bunch of images, clearly more than what I'm going to need for this single project, but that gives me some playing room. I didn't know if I'd want to add birds, or maybe some beehives and bees, or some flowers. So I'm just going to start grabbing some images, layering them onto my card, and just playing around, seeing what colors work, what colors don't. And once I have all of my images in place, then I can start adhering them down. I knew I wanted to have this adorable birdhouse in that center diamond shape. I thought that the angle of the top of the birdhouse played with the angle of that diamond that I created by shifting the square. I have my little bluebirds, I have a little sunflower, and then I have that little vine, and I have stamped that vine in black. It looks great stamped in green as well, but the black gives just a little bit of an accent piece. And I'm going to be stamping my sentiment in black, so everything will look cohesive with little pops of black here and there on my card. I have a flower bed for the bottom right-hand corner, and again, I'm just grabbing a whole bunch of flowers that I have stamped. I've stamped all the flowers and colored them in different colors so that I have some playing room and I can see which flowers I want to add and where. Don't forget to tuck some flowers behind each other and some in front of each other for a more natural look. Now that I've decided which images I want to have and where, I'm going to start adhering them down. I like to start by adhering the images that I want flat on my card with my liquid adhesive. So I'll go through and I will just work in segments. I'm going to start with the center segment and use these little vines. I will adhere them down flat with liquid adhesive, and then I will go ahead and add my images with foam tape that I want to have a little bit of dimension. We're coming to the end of the card now. I'm just finishing up adding my little images with foam tape. And then I'm going to take that card panel and adhere that onto the craft card base. I can either pop that up with foam or use liquid adhesive, and this card is complete. I really hope that you've enjoyed seeing these in-flight stamps and spotlight mask stencils used in a different way. I'm going to bring in some more examples here just to show you again some other ways to use these stencils. Here's another example where I've used one of each shape to overlap and give a geometric look. It's super fun. Again, here's using them on a slimline card front. Don't forget about those masking pieces that you can inlay into the stencil to get a different look. For more project inspiration, head to the HSN website and look for the LDRS Creative In-Flight Kit. Thank you for watching. Bye!